Hello, and welcome to Drunk Girls Who Read, a podcast where the hosts keep mysteriously disappearing for months at a time because running two podcasts at once is in fact driving them crazy. Oh, I'm Hannah.
We are so good at this, so good. And I'm Charlie, and we're two 20-somethings combining hopefully intelligent literary criticism with drunken chaos.
We're currently reading The Hunger Games, and in this episode we're reading chapters 20 and 21.
So grab a drink, crack open your book, and read along with us.
I'm going to piss myself.
Go piss yourself.
What have you done? Oh my god.
No, because it's really not funny.
You have to tell me.
I don't think we can put it in.
Okay, that's fine. You can just tell me.
I just caught a glimpse of my reflection in that and I went, oh God, what do I look like?
It's the boy in the striped pajamas. No, because I was teeing up a joke that said, oh, it's your favourite book of the boy in striped pajamas. Yes, it is!
We can't make Holocaust jokes.
It's Holocaust jokes. It was a book joke because it was a book called The Boy in Striped Pajamas. It's not a Holocaust joke, it's a book joke. I was teeing it up. You ruined the joke I was teeing up.
Sorry, it's just...
I was going to be like, what are you currently reading? The Boy in Striped Pajamas? I was like, oh, this is good.
Is this why you made me wear them?
No, I only came up with the joke basically 1 minute before you burst out laughing.
Yeah. No, but I burst out laughing because, you know, you're like, I can't believe my brain just like involuntarily just...
No, I was going to do it. I was going all in.
So Hannah's forced me to record in pajamas.
I didn't force you. I arrived and you were wearing them, which, by the way, I didn't ask. Were you wearing these all day while you were working?
Yeah.
No video calls today.
No. Although, actually, I did have one. I forgot to join it.
Oh. No, I saw you. You didn't answer the door because I just walked in. And,
she did.
And I was like, oh, are you wearing that to record? And to be fair, you said when we were first planning this podcast, oh, we could do like a cute thing when we're all cozy with blankets and pajamas. So I just thought you were going for it.
No, I just hadn't bothered to get dressed for you. Like how I had Hannah and Nikita and Ayana over on last Friday for dinner. Did not brush my hair, did not put any makeup on.
That's what friendship should be.
Yeah.
I often turn up to my friends' houses with no hair and makeup.
No
hair, I've shaved it off.
It is maybe slightly weirder when you are, as someone that typically does brush my hair and wear makeup and was hosting a dinner party.
Yeah.
I did, however, put on a dress and I was like, you know what? They're not going to notice if I'm wearing a dress.
Dresses hide like all manner of not putting an effort in.
It makes it look like you have, even though it is technically the least effort outfit.
Are we putting any of this in because it started with a boy in striped pajamas joke?
Yes, it's a great cold open.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I've gone psychic and I'm a bit worried about it.
Tell me more.
Okay, so this is going to start off. So there's 3 things I've been psychic about, and the first one's really anticlimactic because I don't remember what it was. I just remember that something happened and I went, oh...
That's the worst story you've ever told on a podcast.
There's a lot of competition as well.
There really is.
The second one... So you know Dan and Phil confirmed that they've been together this entire time. That night when they did that, because I checked, they uploaded that video at 9:30. At 9:30, I can't remember what day it was. I would either have been watching Traitors or Big Brother. I would not have been on my phone. I would have been knitting. And then I went to bed. I did not go on the internet. I then had a dream about Dan and Phil being gay together and then woke up when I went on TikTok. Then I saw that they had confirmed that they were gay together. I will say this is the one where I'm like, okay, I may have seen something and not realised.
Yeah, like scroll past.
No, because I literally was not on my phone. So the only thing is, if for some reason, you know when you get really random news notifications?
Yeah, it did make headline news. I will also say it's like the least surprising news of all time. It's more weird that you dreamt about it that night.
It's the timing. But I don't think it would have been a news notification because I think I probably went to bed an hour after the video dropped. I don't think, considering it was 9:30 at night, I don't think a news notification would have gone off about that.
That's weird.
So yeah, weird, but that's the one I can be like, okay, maybe. But also I'm not really on Dan and Phil internet, so I feel like I wouldn't. But anyway, that's the one I will admit, maybe I did see something. The next one, I woke up with just like a gut feeling. I was like, my auntie's upset with me. I was like, I've done something. And this is my auntie who I'm very close to. But I love her dearly. She's insane. She sends cards for like everything. Like, you do an impressive fart and she sends you a card in the post. It's unhinged. So if you ever figure get a card for her, it is like World War III. She is the only person I get cards for because I'm terrified of her. And I woke up with this feeling like Judith is annoyed with me. She's upset with me. And then I spent the entire morning thinking, have I forgotten an anniversary, a birthday, something? Like, what have I forgotten that my auntie is really upset with me about? And I was like, there's nothing. And then my mum texts me that morning and was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I've just realised it's Judith's birthday on Sunday. And this was on a Friday. So I then had to do one of those online card delivery things when I was on the way to my other mate's birthday weekend. So I was like going through trains with like countryside internet with like no internet trying to like order this card. And I was like,
it was like
a preemptive, which again, I do kind of get maybe. And the thing is, this is terrible, right? I'm about to turn 31 and I don't know anyone's birthday.
I was going to say, why is it your mother's job to
Yeah,
tell
no,
you her birthday?
I know. It's really embarrassing. It is genuinely one of my New Year's resolutions to actually add birthdays into my calendars because I do just rely on my mum telling me, like, I really do, and I'm about to turn 31. I am very independent from my parents in every single way, aside from that one way. I do not know birthdays. I just don't. I've never added them into my calendar.
What's my birthday?
Yours is sometime in January.
You're right. When?
This is an issue because my sister's is also in January. And how can I be expected to remember both?
2 dates. It's just impossible, isn't it?
One of you is the 19th. I feel like it's not you.
You're right. It's not me.
Yours is sometimes Blue Monday, which means that it's the end. 28th?
Wrong. 25th.
Okay, I was only 3 days out. This doesn't work with me because mine's rememberable.
Apart from I always get yours and Zoe's confused. One of you's
Exactly,
the 22nd,
bitch.
one of you's the 23rd.
So you're just as bad as me.
Yeah.
What one's mine?
22nd.
Yes. Yes! But anyway, yeah, I know I need to grow up. I need to, but yeah, anyway, it was my bitch mother's fault for only giving me 2 days warning about her own sister's birthday.
Did Judith get the card in time?
Yes.
Thank
I
God.
literally had to text her Sunday like, happy birthday. I really hope you got the card. And she was like, I did. I was like,
Thank you. And I hate when the Moonpig cards aren't written on the inside when they're typed on the inside. It's like a pet peeve of mine. I had to do it to my brother recently and I was really upset about it. I was like, I'm so sorry I sent you a typed card. And they were like, I always send you typed cards. And I was like, yes, but I hate it.
yeah. But anyway, so yeah, I think I've gone psychic. And then the other day, I had a dream that my grandma died. So I texted my mum, and she, to my knowledge, isn't dead. But this is the thing, I texted my mum, and I was like, can you ring grandma and just let me know? Because I have gone psychic. Like, you
ring your grandma?
No, that would be weird. No, we don't do that.
Right, okay.
I'm not close to extended family in that way. Like, and also she is not like, if I rung her, she would be like bothered and annoyed by it.
Fair enough.
She loves me. She does not want to speak to me.
Fair enough.
Or any of her grandchildren. Yeah, anyway, so the thing is, that was about a week ago and my mum has not actually told me if she's alive. And you might be thinking, that means she's alive. No, with my family, this would be very on brand for them to just not say anything. So I'm like not entirely... And I think I even followed up a few days later. I was like, so was grandma alive? And I still don't think she replied. So my grandma may or may... You know what? It's like
Schrodinger's cat.
Schrodinger's cat. It's Schrodinger's grandma. Is she alive?
Is your grandma in a box?
I don't know. But you know how she died in my dream?
Have you been eating a lot of cheese before bed? This is a lot of weird dreams.
No. I like how I'm talking about dreams while in my pajamas.
Yeah, it's coming across very normal.
Yeah. So I don't actually know how she died, but I remember walking up to my mum who was stood next to her wheelchair, but her wheelchair was like on the side, on the floor with her in it. Oh. And I was like, is grandma okay? She's on the floor. And my mum was like, she's asleep. And I was like, she doesn't look asleep. She looks dead. And she's like, no, she's just asleep. Well, I hope she is. And then I took her pulse and I was like, she's very much dead. And my mum went, oh, bugger. Which, like, the hilarious thing about this, also genuinely could happen. Like, everyone acting perfectly in character there.
I don't know what to reply to this.
Have you gone psychic? How are you?
I'm fine.
You've not gone psychic?
No, I just
not
don't...
developed any other superpowers?
No, I just don't have anything to follow up on after that series of stories. Like, nothing that cool or impressive.
No, nothing is cool and impressive as
not being
psychic about something and forgetting what that thing was.
Yeah, no, that was bad. And also the rest of them are just you eating cheese before bed or something. I should really start writing notes about how I am before the episode. I'm fine. I'm good.
Good.
I'm well. I'm coming across as very boring.
Well,
I should come up with an interesting story to tell, but I don't have one.
We can't all be the psychic boy in the striped pajamas.
I think your stories have just shocked me so much I have nothing to say. I'll just leave.
Enough.
Shall I go?
Yeah, probably.
I'm apparently bad at podcasting.
I'll just do psychic predictions for the rest of the episode.
Okay. I'm trying to think of anything about me. I become just a blank slate of a person.
Oh, you know what happened since we last recorded? Taylor Swift released a bad album.
That was on my notes of things I wanted to talk about. That's not how I am. That is not me on a personal level.
No, but it is.
But it is.
It is deeply personal.
Yes.
I hate it, as most of my best friends hate Taylor Swift. So, you know, every album I have to gear up to defend it, to defend her. And then this is the first album where I've had to be like,
Can't defend it.
yeah, fair play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Nope.
It's her worst album.
Yep.
It has some good moments, but most of it is bad.
Really bad. Really bad.
So that's sad. Hoping I don't have to scrub off my tattoo
Well,
one day.
it does make you look cheap.
That was funny. That whole thing made me laugh.
Yeah, Taylor Swift, for anyone that doesn't know. So Hannah got a mirror ball tattoo because of Taylor Swift.
Visual podcast. I can whip it out.
Yeah, and one of the new lyrics in the album is disco balls make everything look cheap.
That's fine. I aim to look as cheap as possible. That's actually
I'm glad it's what you were going for, because I didn't want to say anything. But
that is my favourite song on the album, the only actually really good one. So
yeah.
That was a bad time. It's a bad time to be a Swiftie, and I just want her to take a break and think about what she's done. That's my advice.
And I just want her and Travis to break up.
Yeah, same.
Sorry for being that kind of parasocial fan, but you know, the thing is, she is a lesbian.
Oh God, she's gone down Gayla.
I was always down Gayla.
Yeah, but
I've
it's
never
insane.
hopped off this train.
Travis is actually trans.
Transvis. Yeah. It is a Wednesday.
I'm so glad you've learnt the days of the week.
Thank you, I've really... You know why? You know how I know?
Because of the Traitors.
No, because I'm psychic.
And there's an 80% chance that it's already raining.
No, now us grabbing our tits is on the internet.
I don't care.
We can't undo that.
What are you reading?
What? Fuck me. I mean, it's been a while since we recorded. Sorry about that, guys.
We had to cancel 2 sessions.
We had 2 in a row. One was her fault, one was my fault. So
I caught that disease that's going around London, that like flu-like one.
I had it, which is
Good.
amazing because I get every single illness, and like I'm aware I'm gonna get it now. Touch wood, but yeah, so far I haven't had it.
Well, luckily I cancelled on you so that I didn't give it to you, but also...
But I'm the only person in my office that hasn't had it. And everyone's been coming in, and this one woman in my office coughs and sneezes and doesn't even try and cover it, and she sits opposite me.
That is really impressive you haven't got it. It's bad, don't catch it.
I'll try. Yeah, God, this feels like ages ago now. I read Mistborn. I really don't want to talk about this because everyone was... What?
I don't know. I think what went through my head was, what's Mistborn? You should explain that, because if I don't know, other people won't know. But then I was like, maybe everyone does know and I'm done. It's Sanderson, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mistborn is Brandon Sanderson's first series. It's the one that you're supposed to start with. I didn't know that, and I read the one that you're really not supposed to start with first. And I love that. So I finally read Mistborn, which lots of people have been very excited for me to read. I read all 3 of the first, 3. There's 3, and then there's some more.
That's...
There's a trilogy, and then the trilogy continues a bit later.
Okay, fine. I'm fine.
And the amount of I can't remember which podcast I mentioned I was reading it on, one of them, and we got so many messages saying they were so excited for me to finally read it. I read it because my dearly beloved friends, Nikita and Ken, really wanted me to read it because they love it. Everyone was really excited for me to love it, and I didn't love it, and I feel really bad. I feel like I'm letting people down for saying that because everyone loves it.
You're allowed to have opinions.
The thing is now...
They're just wrong. No, I don't know. I haven't read it.
It's been so long that I can't fully remember why I didn't love it.
I thought it was something to do with Jesus.
There was that. Only in light of the whole Mormon thing, I think I would have read it differently before finding out that he's a Mormon. But it was also, I think it was very, very, very similar to his other series, to the point there's parallels of every single character. And because there's no plot in his books, very little plot, they're character driven, the fact that the characters were the same, I felt like, okay, I already basically know the character arcs that are going to happen here. I did like some elements of it. I didn't hate it by any means, but it was pretty bang average for me. And also his books are so goddamn long that that's a lot of time to spend on something quite average.
Fair.
I'm gonna do 3.
Whoa.
Because
she's going crazy,
been a while.
everyone.
Actually, no, I'm gonna do 2.
She's going crazy, everyone.
I also don't want to admit to this one, I read Caught Up, which is a second in a series, the series Into Darkness by Nevessa Allen. This is a dark romance book. I read the first one because it was like trending on TikTok, and it was like a man with like a sexy voice, like, and the plot of the first one is like he's literally stalking a girl and like puts cameras in her, and I was like, this sounds like
is this the one you read with the content warnings at the beginning?
Yes. And like all of the content warnings at the start are like necrophilia, kidnapping, but like all of this like really fucked up shit. Yeah. And I was like, it was like morbid fascination, right? I was like, this sounds so bad, I have to read it. Like, I've never read any kind of dark romance before. And then I read it and I gave it 5 stars. It was so good. Like, and I'm not just saying this, like, if I found it sexy, I would say I would own that shit, right? I think maybe I would if I was reading it, but because I was audiobooking it, I just have a real thing. I can't get aroused by audiobooks. It feels really weird. It feels invasive because they're being read by like people that aren't sex workers. Sure. It feels like the act of getting aroused to that. And like, no judgment to anyone that does, but I just personally, it feels really weird. I'm like, oh, it feels like I'm making that person do sex work which they didn't sign up for. I know that doesn't really make any sense. That's just, I have this weird thing. It kind of grosses me out hearing someone that isn't a sex worker like reading out sexual bits. Sometimes, a lot of the time I skip them because I just find it deeply uncomfortable. Okay. I'm just a prude sometimes. But genuinely, they're like, the plots are so over the top. Like, you know how like sometimes the batshit crazy Julia Quinns is so enjoyable because you're like, this is silly. Yeah. It's that level of, you're just like, okay, yeah, no fucks given. This is like a ridiculous, this would never happen. It is so over the top. It's so fast paced. And yeah, so then the second one came out and I read that one as well. I also loved that one. I gave it 4.5 stars. And this one was like mafia based because of course it was. Sure. And yeah, I don't know. They're just a good time. Like, they're just, you can't take them seriously. They're so unserious, but they are endlessly entertaining. And I don't know, there's also something about the world building that I really enjoy, like just the world that this author has created. Like, I don't think I would enjoy another dark romance, but maybe I'm wrong, but as much as this, but there's just something, it sounds odd for a book that had like necrophilia and like serial killing is like the trigger warnings, but there is something comforting about the world. I don't know. I think I sound more insane than when I was saying I've gone psychic right now.
Yeah, you're really, all of this in your pajamas as well is really giving off the vibes that the new podcast thing is that you're doing therapy right now and just like admitting to stuff in a ward situation.
Yeah, I've been hospitalized.
Been sectioned.
What are you reading?
Well, it is, as we're recording this, 2 days before Halloween, and I set myself the goal in October of reading horror books for the first time because I historically hate horror as a film genre. I cannot stand horror films. I will not watch them, even in like group settings. I will not watch them because I am a giant wimp who hates jump scares. The only horror film I've ever enjoyed is Midsummer because it contains no tropes of horror films. But I said this on our other podcast, I think I sometimes read the plot of horror films on Wikipedia.
I find this so funny.
On Wikipedia because I want to know what happens. It's like interesting. Sometimes I'll see a trailer and I'm like, well, I want to know what happens. But yeah, I hate horror films. Really, really hate them. So I'd never read a horror book because I just thought I hated the genre. And then this year I was like thinking about genres of books and I was like, I'm pretty sure the only mainstream genre I've ever read, like, yes, there's hundreds of subgenres, like dark romance is a subgenre of romance, but of all the main genres I've never read horror. So I should do that because I want to be a well-rounded reader. But also I was like, can a book jump scare you? No, because it's a book. So I should try reading them and see if I can cope with it because I thought the only side effects would be more like not being able to fall asleep because I was scared rather than being jump scared. So I started off with The Woman in Black, which I finished this weekend, the weekend just gone, because I wanted to do like a classic. It was very good. It was nice and short. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, but I've never read a horror book, so I'm not sure what metric of scary I was measuring it by. Yeah. I then actually decided to watch the film, the newer one with Daniel Radcliffe, because I was like, well, I've read the book, so I won't be scared. Wrong. I was absolutely fucking terrified. So films are a lot scarier than books because they have jumps in. It still stands. But yeah, it was creepy. It was atmospheric. It had all these delicious descriptions of like sea mist and marshes and things like that. I didn't realize it was written in the 80s. I thought it was a Victorian novel. It was just set in the Victorian and Edwardian time. So that was really good. I got a load of messages after I posted it on Instagram like, you should go see the play. They're bringing it back. And bear in mind, I cannot sit through a horror film on my own. I would ruin a theatre experience for every single other person.
Plays are so much scarier.
Yeah, I'm not doing that
I find
ever.
like horror plays like genuinely terrifying. Like, 'cause the thing about like the theatre is it's such an atmospheric place. Like, I think that there is a feeling when you step into a theatre that is like completely different to like any. But imagine that, but then it's scary.
No. So yeah, those people were like, it's coming back to the West End, and I was like, absolutely fucking
don't
not.
do it. But...
So finished that, and then immediately started a Stephen King book because I've never read a Stephen King book of any genre, which is quite wild. He is like a prolific writer. I went rogue. Okay, because I went to my local library and picked up a horror Stephen King book that was short, because like it and things like that are really long. And I was like, I've actually only got 4 days before Halloween and I wanted it to be Halloweeny. So I picked up The Girl That Loved Tom Gordon, which I have never heard anyone talk about in my life.
You'll have to ask Eloise.
I have. We saw each other. We walked together.
Yes, they walked in together. Oh, so you went, hello, Stephen King.
No, she did that to me.
Probably, knowing her.
So I had a quick look on Reddit, and some people were like, it's actually my favourite Stephen King book, which I feel like there are so many Stephen King fans. Everyone's going to say that about a certain book. But there was enough people saying it was good that I went with it. And it's about a girl who gets lost in the woods. And I was like, that's quite a simple concept. And wow, it is really a page turner, like really, really a page turner. For having no dialogue in apart from her talking to herself because she is alone lost in the woods, it's really like intriguing. Again, not that scary, but I'm not sure what metric I'm using for scariness as I've never read a horror book. But enjoying Stephen King's writing, apart from the occasional just offensive slur dropping.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's 1999, Stephen, come on. There's no need for this. You knew it was bad at the time.
Yeah, I've only read one of his modern books, so luckily there wasn't any. And it was also a fantasy book, so if there was a slur in that would have been a real stretch.
Yeah. I've heard this is a problem, that he just is occasionally offensive. Yeah. But I'll still try a few others. I want to try a few of his different genres to like read widely around him. So please send me Stephen King recommendations, but I'm enjoying it.
I would recommend Fairy Tale. It's quite long. And the first
I don't mind longer books normally. This was just because Halloween.
Yeah. But it's more if like you don't like it. It is like fantasy. I will say it's not a horror. It is really, really creepy. It feels like a really fucked up kind of like Wizard of Oz type thing.
Okay.
It's about, and this is like spoiler-free summary, it's about a boy who there's like a like grumpy old man that everyone's like, oh, avoid that old man. And,
sure,
classic. Shake his cane and stuff like that. And I can't remember how, but he ends up like helping this old man out because he's like kind of on his last legs, and he like looks after this dog and gets really, really attached to this dog. And then the old man is kind of like mysteriously really rich, and then the old man kind of, when he's passing away, like tells him to like look in the shed or something after he goes, and he looks into the shed and he finds like a portal into another world.
Fun.
And it's really fucked up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good. I like fairy tales type things.
Yeah, I did bizarrely enjoy the first half that's essentially just a book about a boy and a dog a lot more than the fantasy half, which is odd because I don't like dogs or boys, and I do like fantasy.
That's weird.
Yeah, but it was a really good read. I really enjoyed it. It was like very unique, I think.
Okay.
Versus anything I've read.
But yeah, I'm doing horror. I'm trying to theme my reading a bit to the seasons, because I've got a lot on my TBR, and I'm like, how do I cut this down and pick books where I'm not just like, sometimes you get a bit overwhelmed.
Yeah.
So I've been trying to like theme it to things to help me like cut it down, which has been quite a fun way to do things.
Yeah. I have only read 1 or 2 horrors, but the horrors I have read are Stephen King's sons, Joe Hill, who is a Nepo baby, but completely deserving. He's very talented. And on Friday, I'm going to his book launch.
Oh, yeah. That's so apt on Halloween as well.
Well, I'm guessing that's why they've...
Are you going to dress up?
No.
You should.
No, because then I'm going somewhere after, so...
Mysterious, where? Tell me.
Oh, just to Elle's.
Oh, okay. What are we drinking?
We are drinking a vodka lime soda.
Yeah, I've nearly finished mine.
Do you want to go get more?
When I finished it.
Okay.
It's very delicious.
Because great news for the watchers. I've worked out my wine situation where I couldn't drink wine because it was triggering migraines. And on Friday, I had my first glass of wine in months. I wouldn't have said that I missed wine. I definitely was inconvenient not having wine at social things, but I wouldn't say. And then I just didn't think about it, and I sipped the first glass, and I was like, so I did miss wine. I think I'd been putting it out of mind. But yeah, and I'm saying this in case it's helpful to anyone else. I worked out that I have a histamine intolerance also, I think. And I got these little wands that you stir your wine with for 3 minutes, and it helps to filter out, or it does have a filter attached. It's not just like a literal wand. I've not actually gone insane. And it filters out the histamines and some of the sulfates and stuff. So I guess it could be a sulfate intolerance. And I was kind of really dubious, even though the Amazon reviews were good. But I normally get a migraine during my first glass of wine. And I didn't the entire night, but then I was still a bit like, oh, but I'm going to wake up with a headache tomorrow, right? Like I always do when I'm drinking. Nothing. I was fine the next day. So I can drink wine again. Just expensively, because the ones are spenny, but whatever.
Gotta go for the cheapest wine possible to counteract it.
Hell yeah. Anyway, so I have also worked out, because I can't drink gin because it makes me suicidal. So basically vodka and white rum are the only two boozers that I can drink that don't have histamines in. So I guess I'm a vodka lime soda girly now. So
very nice. And used fresh lime. Lovely.
I did.
Right. Talking about the thing that we came here to talk about.
Half an hour intro. A classic.
There's some things to cut out in there.
It's fine. A lot of that was about books.
It was. Right, we're on chapter 20, I believe.
Yes.
Good. Right. My first line is about broth.
Go for it.
And that's great because I love broth.
She loves soup.
I love broth. I do love soup. I'm known for loving soup. It's a fact about me.
I love soup, but only homemade soup.
I mean, I much prefer homemade soup, but any type of soup will do.
No, I can't do... Not in a snobby way. I just store-bought is ways bleh.
It depends. Tins, bit blur. I'll eat them, but a bit blur. The fresh ones in the tubs, much nicer. Especially the Tideford ones, they're the best.
No, I don't like them. I've tried to make myself like them. I don't like them.
That's sad.
Yeah. I was thinking the other day, I was like, we should have a day like Pie Fest, but it's soup. And then I was like, no! There's only so many cozy food-based days.
I don't feel like you can eat multiple courses of soup.
Fucking watch me, bitch.
I can try. Yeah.
I did see on TikTok some people doing a soup swap where they all made a portion of soup up
That's
Tupperwares
really
and
clever. That's really clever.
Yeah.
Because, I often make homemade soup on a Monday and then have it all week, but it does mean having the same lunch each week. This week, I made sweet potato, red pepper, and tomato soup.
Nice.
For a twist on tomato soup, because tomato soup isn't that filling. But the recipe I follow calls it glowing skin soup, but every time I make it, I just shorten it to I'm going to make the skin soup. And Neil's like, please stop saying you're going to make skin soup.
And it's red.
And it's red.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the soup I made this week. Follow my Instagram for more soup-based talk. I love soup. Anyway, she feeds him broth and then keeps guard over him till morning. His fever breaks overnight. So he does he's not going to die right there in the night. His fever breaks. And she kind of thinks to herself that she's made herself a lot more vulnerable. Before she was moving around, she was in the trees, things like that. And now she's basically weakened her own position in the games because she's looking after someone who she physically cannot lift and she can't move around the arena. The next morning she makes Peeta eat and then he tells her to sleep while he keeps watch. So this is nice. She gets some sleep while someone's keeping watch for the first time. And he brushes her hair and she really likes it.
Yeah.
And she also thinks that this feels less staged than some of the other things he was doing. She thought that some of the kissing and flirting felt, from her perspective, that Peeta was staging it. We don't know from what we're reading, but she thinks the hairbrushing feels very natural, which is very sweet. She wakes in the afternoon and Peeta is in a bad way. His leg is much worse and the infection is in his blood.
Mm. That's not good. That's the one thing you don't want infected. Penis, fine. Eye, fine.
Ew.
Blood, that's a real issue.
Yeah. But he knows it's bad. It's there's no point in hiding it from... I mean, I think he knew it was bad all along. It's not he was this is
You're not
great.
just going to get over it, are you?
No. This would be the worst way to die in the Hunger Games. I'd much rather be stabbed than die of a wound and an infection, slowly over a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
That just made me think that the book I'm reading at the moment, the Stephen King book, has a lot of talk because it's about a girl just lost in the woods about pissing and shitting. And I was like...
To Nayana.
To Nayana.
Nayana, who we just had to untag from an episode on actually our other one because she keeps doing...
No, it was this, because it was about piss and shit in the Hunger Games.
No, it was the Umbridge one. She
God,
wasn't appearing.
Why is she always talking about piss and shit?
Yeah, but so she's doing a load of, she's like becoming a bit of a political correspondence, and she's doing loads of news features and like podcasts and stuff, which is really exciting. And she's really like fancy and intelligent. Don't know why she's friends with us or listens to this podcast, but it meant that she did like a couple of podcasts with like The Guardian and stuff. And then when you like clicked on her name to view other podcasts, it was something like Bellatrix's Milky Breast.
And you know, it's fine if you Google our names and that comes up, but apparently our guests don't want that as one of their top search terms, which like I find wild. I find that crazy.
She was so apologetic, and I was like, no, like this is entirely fair. I will remove it. Like this.
The problem is Spotify's a bit of a snake. We didn't tag her, and it doesn't like it does it automatically. If it finds your name, it will link you together, which is like I guess a problem if two people have the same name. But
what? There's some podcaster out there called John Smith.
Yeah, who's just being tagged in everything.
Yeah.
So Katniss makes soup. We've had broth. Now we have soup. It's a great day. It's a fantastic day. And Peeta wants a story.
No.
Which is very me when I'm ill or upset. I try to make Neil tell me a story to fall asleep, and he won't do it. And
What a cunt.
I know. I think my request is quite simple.
Yeah, I think that's nice.
I know.
My dad used to make up stories on the spot.
Oh,
the most one,
so
there was like a
nice.
reoccurring one called Freddy Footprint. It was about a little cat called Freddy Footprint, and he used to go on adventures with his friends. And like, you know, I feel like a lot of authors, like children's author stories are like, oh, it was like something I made up for my kid. It's like, that's Percy Jackson. He made it up for his kid. And then it like became, and I'm like, if my dad had any inclination to writing, I feel like it would have been, it was like really creative and good.
He should have written it.
He should have.
He still could.
Yeah.
Very
I'm
cute.
pretty sure he doesn't remember it now, but yeah, he used to tell us Freddy Footprint stories.
That's so imaginative. I love that.
I might start demanding them again.
Yeah, do it.
Maybe over Christmas, be like, Dad, I want a Freddy Footprint.
I think he'd like that. I hope he would like that.
I think Neil should tell you a Freddy Footprint.
Just to be like, tell me a story about Freddy.
Be like, who?
What? Where? Are you alright? So the story Katniss chooses to tell is about Prim's goat. I wrote Rue's goat, and I am wrong. I know I'm wrong in my notes. So she can't actually tell Peeta the truth. So she's telling a slightly fake story because the truth would get District 12 in trouble because she bought the goat with money from a deer that she killed and sold to the butcher. I don't remember what story she tells to Peeta, like where she got the money from.
I can't remember. We made these notes before we cancelled recording a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
So.
But anyway, she has money and she uses it to buy an injured goat for Prim's birthday. There's a goat herd keeper? Goat man in District 12. And there was a goat in the car, like lying injured.
I thought you said car.
There's a goat in the car. It's in the car.
What car was it?
It's a Subaru.
Yeah. Yeah, goats are often in Subarus.
They drive.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shame we don't do titles because goat in a Subaru is good.
Yeah.
There's a goat lying in the cart. And she basically does this very clever, like, bit of almost not tricking the man into selling it, but getting someone else to come along and being like, oh, that goat's dead. You may as well make some money off her.
Yeah, I don't know if this is something she actively does, though. I think it's the other person being nice because they know her.
It is, but Katniss had started off quite well with the bargaining to start with for the other person to then come along with
because my note was that, like, this is yet another time that someone helped Katniss and she just doesn't realise. Like, so much for her internal narrative is about how no one helped her and no one likes her and she's such a loner with no friends and she's done this all herself and no one ever helped her. She's very bitter about it, and then like constantly is like, and this person helped me and this person helped me and this person helped her by like not buying the
helped
goat.
her massively. And yes, that person helped her. I can't remember who it is. I'm pretty sure it is the butcher or something. Helped her because they know Katniss, they trust Katniss, and Katniss has given them a lot of business. But it's again this thing of Katniss not understanding these connections she's built up in this very organic way. She just like refuses to acknowledge them. But it also does show this moment where she gets hold of the goat, Katniss's type of intelligence, and also how the districts operate in this very like underground but everyone's helping each other kind of way. It's, I don't know, it's a clever story to tell Peeta because it also is telling the audience that's watching that Katniss is smart.
Yeah.
And yeah, she gets the goat. They have to nurse it back to health. But in the end, the goat makes way more money than they originally got it for because Prim sells the milk on the market. And that's it. The goat doesn't do anything else. It's just milk, right?
Cheese?
Cheese. Goat's cheese. I don't like goat's cheese. Do you like goat's cheese?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not my favourite cheese, but I do like it. Oh, there was a really good goat cheese at my friend's birthday weekend. It's fucking great. And they made like hand pies, and it was like this like goat cheese that it was very like, it was almost like a brie with like scallions and potato in little hand pies. They were fucking great.
That does sound good.
So yeah, so they do the big announcement that there's going to be a feast, basically that all of the contestants need something. At this point, I could not remember what Kato and What's-Her-Face needed.
They never say.
No, they do.
Do they?
We literally have it in the chapters that you should have notes for.
I just remember the size of the backpacks. I don't remember anything about what it was.
We don't find out Threshers.
Oh, okay, so it's not like a list. No, all I remember is a list of the size of the backpacks. What's in the others?
Do you want me to spoil it?
No, we can wait. That's fine. I just didn't know we knew any of them.
Yeah, we find out Threshers. But yeah, at this point I was like, what the fuck did any of them get? I don't think we find out Kato's.
Right.
We don't find out Threshers ever, I'm pretty sure.
I guess we don't find out Fox Faces either.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Fine.
Yeah, I forgot she's still alive.
That's one of my favourite parts, actually, because I've read that bit now. We'll get to that. I think I didn't really remember Foxface at all from when I was when I was thinking about reading this book as a kid. But reading it back as an adult, I really like the inclusion of Foxface's character because she's not a threat, but it's just such a different type of intelligence in the games, but it's actually not that dissimilar to Katniss and Rue's intelligence.
Yeah.
I really like the inclusion because I feel like otherwise it could be quite, the good characters and then the big bad characters, like the big bad, career characters. And I like this inclusion of, because we know the careers don't always win. So I think it is important to show these people that got through to the end who aren't careers.
Yeah. And I also quite like that we see Katniss is so intelligent, but I like that there's someone more intelligent.
Yeah.
And I like the element that brings in of things just kind of being chance and luck.
Yeah. Yeah, because the way she died she was still making an intelligent move. It was just terrible luck.
Yeah, exactly. Katniss is basically like, well, I'm going. And obviously idiot Peeta is like, if you go, I'm going too.
And I'm going to shout really loudly behind you. It's like, no, you're not, because you can't walk.
Mm-hmm.
And also, what are you gonna do? Just wait while you die in a cave and Katniss then either has to leave your corpse behind or just watch you die?
Yeah.
That's worse.
I know. And I guess it's a bit of a damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Because either she's going to be traumatized because she's going to have had to let him die, or she goes and she dies and he's going to be traumatized.
Yeah. And then die alone.
Yeah. It's almost like the Hunger Games is bad.
Yeah.
That's what
It's almost like the game makers know what they're doing.
I don't know if anyone's ever made this point before, but I don't think the Hunger Games is good. I think that it's quite unethical.
That's crazy. We should cut that up to be a TikTok moment.
Yes.
New point. No one's ever heard of.
No one's ever heard of this theory. No one's ever heard of this Hunger Games theory before. Oh my god. That Hunger Games theory.
That's what's going to get us a press invite to the new play. That's right there.
Yeah.
I'm still gunning for it. Hit us up with those kind of takes. That's what we'll give. We'll review it with those kind of takes.
Yeah.
Hunger Games is bad, actually. Right. So they have an argue about it. And, okay, I don't know if I skipped it in my notes. Did they do a load more kissing for the parachute to arrive, or is that not the thing?
Remember.
Neither can I.
Make us drink.
Yeah, but I'm 2 sentences from the end.
Oh, fuck you.
I can't remember if they do more kissing or not.
Maybe they kissed, maybe not. Either way, she goes outside and she gets sent some sleep medicine.
Yes.
And at first she gets really excited, oh my god, how much money do we have that Haymitch has got us the medicine anyway? And then she's like, oh no, it's just sleep medicine.
Yeah. So she drugs Peeta.
Great.
It's good. It's net good.
So what you're saying is you are pro people drugging their romantic partners.
Absolutely. That was in fact my favourite part of Fantastic Beasts 2.
Yeah.
Yes, I am pro in this one scenario her drugging Peeta because Peeta's being a fucking idiot and I normally like Peeta. The horrible part of the chapter is he realises what she's doing as he's falling asleep and tries to fight it and I'm like, no.
Rip.
I've called Todd a great new name.
Yeah?
Boblington Fartworthy.
That's a good name. I did wonder who you were talking to.
Did you not talk to... You talked to Todd.
No, I know, but there was, like, you didn't have a cat tone of voice.
I don't with Todd. I think he deserves a human voice.
This is the thing. I've been told that the way that I talk to Todd is ridiculous. Because apparently I do just talk to him like he's a child.
You do. Whereas I think because it has like evil deep inside of him, I must feel like he's an adult.
He's not evil. He's so cute. He's just a little boy.
And what are little boys? Evil.
No.
Yeah.
Not when they're that fluffy. So cute. Just adorable.
You've got big mascara down.
I like it that way.
All right, but don't tell me off in the edit when you're like, there's mascara down my face.
Oh my god, it's so down my face.
Yeah, it wasn't when we started.
Sorry about that, everyone. I'm going to be affronted by my appearance.
The light's doing it to us?
Who's to say?
You say.
Who's to say? Are you trying to see you doing the reflection of my eyes?
No, have I got mascara down my face?
No.
Tell me yes or no.
No, it's good.
I love lime. Right, chapter 21. She disguises, I have not spelled the word disguises correctly, the cave mouth with rocks, which is quite clever. Feel like they could have done this earlier.
Yeah.
I guess it makes it inconvenient to get in and out of the cave, but I do feel like this could have been done earlier.
Yeah, it's also, I don't know. I guess she's like, oh, I don't want him to be murdered while I'm away.
Sure.
Like, or if I don't come back. But it's like, yeah, what is worse, being murdered, a quick death, or the slow death he would go through? I guess, like, the only thing is she like, if someone knew where they were and was watching, and then the moment she left, came in.
Yeah.
So I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
She mentions that she only has 9 arrows left. I do like that we're keeping track of it.
Same.
It's not that thing in films where they're like...
But this is one of my only criticisms of the Hunger Games films in general.
I don't know how many bullets are in a gun. I'm just going to keep doing this an implausible amount.
Exactly. This is one of the other things that annoys me about the Hunger Games films. I think in general the films are like an incredible adaptation, one of the best booked film adaptations there is. The arrows magic refill constantly in those fucking films.
Yeah.
And it really annoys me because like it adds a sense of dread knowing you have a limited amount of arrows, as it should. She cleans all her weapons as well.
Yeah, she starts to prepare to go to the feast. But I thought this was really interesting. She knows that her family will be watching. Yeah. You know, like it's probably been announced that there's going to be a feast in the morning, so she's thinking they're going to be lying awake. Apparently, whenever there's these big moments like work and school gets like called off. So how fucking... That's so... Once again, the Hunger Games is bad, shocking information. But yeah, that thing with being in the Hunger Games and knowing, okay, yeah, they're not going to be at work, they're not going to be at school, they're going to be lying awake tonight, and then tomorrow they have to watch the feast. And she knows that if she dies in the feast, they are going to be watching at that exact moment. They're not going to be doing on catch up. They're not going to be hearing about it.
Catch up in District 12. Sorry, let me just get that on iPlayer.
Well, you assume they do like repeats.
They do a highlights thing. Yeah. It adds a interesting dynamic overall, which is the same dynamic that exists in all reality TV. So I'm glad it's like very overtly mentioned in the Hunger Games that you are aware you are being watched. And I think this relates to the current series of The Traitors, which is on, which we were speaking about earlier, in that more than usual, because we're on the celebrity traitors at the moment, the celebrities are aware of their own personal image and how they're being perceived. Yes, the general one are aware of it, but unlike shows like nowadays Love Island, they don't really go out and become famous. It is more just a normal people show and they go back to doing normal jobs. The celebrity traitors, it has the risk of ruining or changing our perception of those celebrities forever, and I think they are hyper aware of that.
I did see someone point out that kind of one of the flaws with Celebrity Traitors as a series, and I am loving it and I do think it still works, this is just like one small element, is that the whole offering up shields during challenges is a lot less relevant because no celebrity can stop helping the challenge that raises money for charity to get themselves a shield.
Yeah.
Because the money's going to charity. Before, when it was like, oh, you're like working to one person gets the money and it's just going to a person, a lot of people would sack off the challenges to selfishly go get themselves a shield.
Yes.
A celebrity is not going to do that when the money that they are working towards goes to charity, because that is going to ruin their career.
I've got to say though, because it's BBC, the budgets are smaller than if it was like ITV or Channel 4. I hope these celebrities double that charity pot, because every week when they're like, oh, amazing, it's at 20 grand, and I'm like, You earn that in a day, some of you. And that charity
And they all
pot.
get 40k for taking part.
Well, is that 40k up front? And then do they get extra for the amount of days they stay in as well? That's normally how
knows?
it works.
I don't know. I think I read an article that it's a flat fee for. I think because it's the BBC, it is just a flat fee of 40k.
That's really interesting.
And I think they all get the same.
That's fascinating because that's not how other shows work. So that's really interesting if it's true.
But
Good
I
for
think it
Nico.
makes sense because it's the BBC.
Yeah. But all of them earn more than that in a week.
Most
Most of them.
And like, yeah, if at the end they get paid 40k and like the charity gets like 30.
Yeah, I'm like, could you just donate a bit more to charity, please?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad The Hunger Games brings that up. And Peter even brought it up at the beginning. It's not just about winning or dying. It's about how you're perceived and how you are remembered, and whether Katniss often thinks about some sort of honorable death. At every moment she dies, she thinks, I've got to have my eyes open. I've got to be fighting back. She doesn't want to... What?
At every moment she dies.
Every moment she almost dies. Sorry, I missed the key word there. The key word being almost. Every moment she almost dies, she thinks about not wanting to appear like a coward. And I'm just glad that the books bring it up, because I think it would be quite easy, because it's a way book, to just be like, right, we're in the games and we're going to pace through the games. And I'm really glad we get this very much focus on the reality TV element. Thinking of 12 leads her to think of Gale, and her thoughts circle
Which
to...
I fucking hate. Like, what do you mean you've gone from being like, oh, my family are probably going to watch me die? I wonder what this boy thinks about me kissing this other, but fuck off.
I know. And she literally thinks, like, if I opened that door, would he be my boyfriend?
Why
Why are we suddenly in...
I guess, who are we to police a teenage girl's
Exactly.
thoughts?
Well, I was a menace at 16. My thoughts were a menace.
I probably would be like, family? Who? Who?
I would sell my family to get kidnapped by Niall in One Direction.
I didn't have to. I just woke up one day, put my hair in a messy bun, and all of a sudden I was sold to One Direction. No, I would be like, I really hope, like, I know I've not showered in 3 weeks, but I really hope I look fit on camera right now.
So
All of the boys from school are going to be watching.
So she is 16. We can't blame her.
But it's just so... She's never normally like this. She's not like other girls. And then all of a sudden she's like, oh, I wonder what Gail thinks of the kissing. I don't know.
maybe that her brain has been turned on by the kissing.
Yeah, and like maybe she has to think of something fluffier to just not think about her family. I'm giving her shit when I don't actually like... I do hate this, but I don't actually hate this.
Yeah. Oh,
Hannah's so angry about it. She's tearing apart her book.
Yeah. But that thought leads her to kiss Peter when she leaves. And she's mostly doing it for the camera. But I love that we're starting to get more and more moments where she is also doing things for her. And we're crossing that weird line between what's for the camera and what's for her.
Yeah. Which I also think is interesting later on when we get to, I can't even remember if it's the end of this book and or the start of next book. I think it's the start of next book, her thinking about, you know, oh, it was all fake. And, you know, he didn't know that and blah, blah, blah. And it's actually like, yeah, I completely see. I think there's a lot you wouldn't remember after because of trauma.
Yep.
Like, you wouldn't remember a lot of the day-to-day stuff and a lot of the traumatic stuff. I think you would just forget a lot of what went on.
Absolutely. Especially because they kind of knock you out at the end to do all the surgeries.
Exactly. So... yeah, I think she probably also forgets that at a certain point, and maybe she doesn't, and I can't remember the details of the second book, but yeah, I think maybe she genuinely forgets that at a certain point she does start to enjoy it and things do start to get confusing.
I think there's also the thing, and I kind of wish book 2 had delved into this more, and maybe it does and I've forgotten, of believing your own narrative you're telling yourself. If you tell your brain a narrative enough, you can believe it, and I really like when that's done in books. So I'm interested to see how much that is brought up in book 2, because I agree, her in book 2 is very much like, it was all fake, and I'm like, girl, no, it wasn't.
Exactly.
She is weirdly blasé. Right, so speaking of the surgeries they have at the end, she says, oh, if I win, she's bemoaning the fact that she's lost hearing in one ear. And she's like, well, if I win, it doesn't matter because I'll never need to hunt again. And I'm like, I think having hearing in both ears is important for other things. She's like weirdly blasé.
She's like, oh, I'll be so rich I can pay someone to hear for me.
Yeah, it's so uncanny.
How is that going to work?
It's just so uncanny.
So you imagine that you're being paid to hear for someone being like, Hannah, there's something to... oh, fuck. Hannah, there's something to your right.
It's I mean, maybe again we chalk it up to just teenage girl nonsense, but it's such a weird line. Like, it really stuck out to me.
I guess it's such like a novel concept for her. Like, I guess, you know, you live day-to-day life and you're not exactly going around, like, unless you're some dude bro being like, I'm going to be rich one day. But, like, that's in this world. You still don't think, oh, I'm going to be rich one day.
Yeah.
Whereas in the
I've
games,
entered the Euro Millions this Friday. I am going to be rich.
You were going to be rich.
It's a 10 million rollover.
No, I've never entered the lottery.
I didn't until this year. I didn't regularly until this year. I entered the huge Euro Million rollovers when it got over 10. This year, I have been playing it every week.
Because you're too good for 10.
Well, yeah, there's no point. It's not worth my time. No,
you're like, I don't get out of bed for less than 10 million.
No, this year I've been in a normal lottery syndicate.
Fun.
What a way to waste my money.
Yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think in the Hunger Games world, like, that's even what you are never, ever, ever going to think you're going to get rich, because there is no there's no meritocracy in this society, but there isn't any in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Literally the only way to get rich in the Hunger Games is to win the Hunger Games. And you're never going to think about that as a good thing, because you're not going to want to be in the Hunger Games.
Yeah.
So her being like, oh, haha, like, I could be rich if I win, is probably like, wow, this is a bizarre concept that I've never considered before.
Yeah, so of course I'm going to say stupid shit like, I can get someone to hear for me. She gets to the cornucopia at dawn breaking. So this is not...
At breaking dawn.
At breaking dawn, she gets to the cornucopia and there is a table in front of the cornucopia with 4 backpacks on. So this is kind of interesting. Not like crazy interesting. Basically, they said, we had the announcement earlier that if there are a boy and girl from the same district still alive, they can team up and win it together. Clove and Cato are still alive from the same district. So both them and Katniss and Peeta are sharing a backpack. So like, we kind of know, it's obvious they would have teamed up anyway, because why wouldn't they? But it's interesting because like, oh, they've definitely all teamed up. We've got the same backpacks. It's just this kind of thing of like, what if they didn't want to team up? Why wouldn't they? It would be dumb not to, but...
Yeah.
Anyway. Foxface has the most genius idea.
This is one of those just like you kick yourself. Like, why didn't I think of this? And I think like Katniss does.
Yeah.
It's so simple.
Why didn't Katniss think of it? But also, I don't think I would have. Foxface has been hiding inside the cornucopia until dawn, so the table raises at dawn. And the moment the table clicks into place, she runs out, grabs the backpack and runs away before anyone can do anything.
It's so smart. It is really high risk.
Oh, yeah.
All it takes is one other person to have the idea, or to have the idea that someone might have had the idea for it to be over for you. But
high risk, high reward.
I
gets
think
clean away. She's the only one not affected.
I think to like put myself in her mindset, I think the only person she would consider a threat in that moment is Katniss, for 2 reasons. One, Katniss is the only other person they're smart enough to have that thought.
Yeah.
I genuinely think she's probably weighed up and been like, okay, out of all of the people left, there's only one that also might have this thought.
Yeah.
So that's a good risk. And 2, obviously she's got like a ranged weapon.
Yeah. The only other risk to it is that Clove and Cato, previous to this, have been hanging out around the cornucopia because that's where all the supplies were. So I suppose if she had got there the night before and been like, oh, they still have camp outside the cornucopia, she wouldn't have done this. She would have waited in the woods. But clearly Clove and Cato now have made camp somewhere else. Now the supplies have been
And
laid
I think she's been following everyone around enough that she knows where everyone is camped.
Yeah. So genius. She's away. Before Katniss can even react, she's away. But also, Katniss is now annoyed because not only did she not think of it, in the moment of shock of watching Foxface, she's missed the moment that the tables click into place.
Which is such a throwback to her first moment going in, of her moment trying to work out what Peter's doing. Gives her that like even split-second delay that is everything in the Hunger Games.
Yeah. Something interesting about what Foxface does, considering she's the first one there, is she doesn't take any other backpacks. So Katniss now wants to be the next one to run because she knows that Cato and Clove, at least, but probably Thresh, will take the other backpacks. So that essentially you're wiping out all the competition because it's something they desperately need.
But also it's really risky because then they're going to go after you.
So Foxface chooses not to take that risk, which I think is the right decision. Yeah. But Katniss weighs up that everyone else, and Katniss isn't going to take another backpack. That was never her plan. So it's this kind of like brute strength versus, it's like the lottery of weighing up it's very complex for a teenage booker to weigh up the consequences of each of these actions.
Yeah, because I think my prediction would be Cato and What's-Her-Face obviously would have. There's 2 of them that they could have taken all of them and lured the other people into trap with the other one.
Yep.
Katniss obviously wouldn't. No. I think that Thresh would only have taken Cato and blah blah blahs.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have necessarily taken Katniss's.
He doesn't know at this point that Katniss has helped the district.
No, I know. However, I think that he's thinking logically that you wouldn't want everyone on you, right?
Sure, yeah.
So I think you've got to pick like one, in that case, 2 tributes. So I think he's going to see them as the biggest threats that he wants to give like a disadvantage to.
It's a shame we don't know more about like what Thresh's
It
thoughts
kills
were,
me.
because like he's got a plan, but I don't know what it is. So Katniss begins to run, and she can tell there is someone behind her, and then Clove's knife, she throws it, and Katniss gets her with an arrow. Right. Clove throws the first knife, it misses, or Katniss gets it, and Katniss then gets her with an arrow on the arm. So Clove is right behind her, they're fighting. She grabs her backpack, but in the moment she's grabbing her backpack and turning around, obviously she has to stop at that point. She gets one of Clove's knives to her forehead, and she then shoots another arrow and misses. So we're now gone from 8 to 6 arrows. So we're starting to feel that threat as well, and also she's bleeding into her own eyes.
Yeah, she gets knocked down by Clove, and then Clove gets on top of her and is just doing like the every villain speech. Honestly. And just being psychopathic about wanting to like cut her up. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I think that, I don't know, it's so, we don't get it fully elaborated on, but I think with the careers, you can think that some of them are probably, they've been fed this dream.
Yeah.
That doesn't line up to reality. We see that, I think, don't some of them, they're on the good side in the second book? Or am I making that up? Some of the old careers have kind of been like, yeah,
maybe,
they're pissed
she
off.
says with a question mark.
I can't fully remember. But yeah, you know that some of them have probably been trained for this and brainwashed their entire life and actually get into it and realise the reality and turn against it. But then there's also some that, be it because of that brainwashing or for other reasons, are just fucking psychopaths.
Yeah.
And I think I'd always I hadn't fully remembered this bit, and I'd always thought about them as just like these poor brainwashed, you know, they've been trained for this, like, kind of thing. But actually, Clove is she's enjoying this. She's not just doing it because she's been brainwashed into it or she has to do it. She's like getting off on this and wants to fucking cut her up for fun. She's a fucking psycho.
It's also dumb as shit. Because one look at the backpacks tells you who is left to collect a backpack. If Thresh had already taken his backpack, sit on top of Katniss and cut her lips off if that's what you want to do, because you know no one else is coming. But if Thresh's backpack is not taken, why are you pausing in the field? Stab her in the neck and be done with it. It's so dumb to do this.
Yeah. So she says some kind of comment about Rue dying, and then she gets pulled off Katniss. Thresh has grabbed her, and there's a really interesting line that he seems to put on weight.
Okay, can I go backwards to the Rue line? Yeah. Because I also want to talk, there's a lot I want to talk about in that one paragraph. Okay. Clove implies that the careers killed Rue and that it was like a group effort. And I think this has been lost slightly in that bit where Rue was kind of like running and didn't get to the third meet point, but we don't know exactly what happened because Rue was killed by one person, the boy from 4. I don't know. And Katniss then killed that person. So the only person that was present, the only witness to that death is dead. So Clove shouldn't actually, she knows that Rue is dead, but she shouldn't actually know the manner of her death because word never got back to Clove. So is this an assumption, or is it something to do with the fact that all the careers were hunting Rue during that bit where the supplies were being blown up and then the careers went into the woods? And because the boy never reported back, again, it's just this assumption, but Clove wasn't present. We know that. So I just find it then a bit weird of being like, we killed Rue. I'm like, you weren't there. Like, yes, you were a career pack, but maybe it's because they were chasing her under the trees. Yeah. It just felt a bit confusing to me.
Yeah, I always kind of interpreted it as just her just trying to take credit to like rub it in.
Fair. I guess anything to kind of rile Katniss up because she's just being a bit like crazy in this moment.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so Katniss thinks that Thresh seems to put on weight, and like maybe I'm wrong and I'm not remembering. I don't think we do ever find out what the fuck Thresh was up to the entire time, do we? I think it's just a long mystery. But what? Like, I know he was in like fields and maybe there was some wheat or something, but still, how do you like actively put on weight? It's not like you can be baking bread with the wheat or something.
I think how I interpreted this line, and bear in mind I didn't write it down because I'm just trying to remember off the top of my head. I thought what Katniss was saying was he was bigger than she remembered, as in, wow, I haven't seen him in a week and a half. Oh my God, I knew he was big. but he's even bigger in real life in this moment.
I haven't written down the exact quote, but I am like 95% sure it specifically says that he's put on weight.
He's just out there working out, you know, pumping that iron.
So this isn't the only time that we get some like kind of hint at like, what's over there? What's he been doing?
Yeah.
I think this is like one of many kind of weird lines we get about
what has he been doing?
Exactly. And like no one else wants to go over there, and it's interesting.
I don't want to hunt people through head high wheat.
Yeah, I mean there's so many theories about what the third of the new books will be. There's so many ones. One I would kind of love is Katniss's first Hunger Games, but from a different perspective. And maybe she would do Thresh.
Maybe. I feel like it wouldn't be enough to be a whole book, but maybe she could do something really interesting with it.
Yeah.
So he yells that he heard what she's just been said about Rue, which also, how bad is Clove's perception of what's around her that Thresh was close enough?
She was just
to
so
hear that.
Into the fantasy of cutting off Katniss's lips.
For someone to be able to hear that, you've got to be close enough that your senses should be like, oh my God, stop.
Do you think if she had cut off her lips, they would have shown it? Because we do know that there is some line. We know that they haven't shown the cannibalism. Is literally carving up someone's face, does that cross the line for the Capitol?
That's a great question.
Because there's a difference between we're in this game show and we have to kill each other.
Yeah.
And I'm going to torture you and cut you up.
I feel like they would cut.
I think so.
But what to? That's the only thing going on. There's only 6 of them left.
Yeah.
So Thresh yells that he heard what she just said about Rue and bashes her head in with a
Slay.
rock. Apparently there's no blood but a dent in her skull.
Hell
Oh, he heard it. Kato heard it. Oh, yes. Kato sees all this from wherever Kato is in the field, but is too far away to do anything, which I find interesting that Clove was sent to do the bag pickup. But maybe because she's got the only one with the long range weapon.
Yeah.
What does Kato have? Like a sword? I don't know.
Yeah.
He then demands to know if Katniss did team up with Rue. And she explains, yes, I did. I sang to her as she died, and your district sent me bread. Please just get it over with quickly. So it's this really like horrifyingly sweet moment of her just being like, if you're going to kill me, please don't do what you just did to her where she's like dying on the ground. Just kill me in one go.
Yeah, I think this is one of the best written bits in the book because we suddenly have Katniss's own dialogue suddenly sounding different to all of her other dialogue, where for the first time she really sounds girlish. Is the only word that I can pick out for it. Like she sounds like a child. Like she's wiping her nose and she's going, do it fast, okay, Thresh? Like she sounds scared, she sounds girlish, she sounds like she's been reduced.
Yeah.
And I think it's so well written that in this kind of moment, probably the closest she gets to death in the entire things.
Yeah.
All of the personas, all of the I'm on camera, I need to act this way, all of the big sister I'm putting on this front is suddenly wiped away. And for the first time, we really see how vulnerable she is and the fact that she is just a girl.
Yeah. And like that she's reduced to begging. Like she absolutely knows she cannot win. She knows what her limits are. She can't win. So she's just reduced to begging this person.
And I'm really glad as well that she's not begging. She's not saying this to be like, spare me.
No.
She's like, you're going to do it. And that's like she tells him just to tell him just because he asked.
Yeah. And it's a very like reasonable request as well. Like, yes, I was her ally. Because of that, just kill me quickly. I don't want to die slowly.
And like telling him because like otherwise he might never know and he might never get that closure. Obviously, if he were to win, he would go out and he would, I assume, not watch it but be told. Yeah. But let's assume that he died in here. If she doesn't tell him now how Rue died, he is never going to get that closure. Yeah. So I think it is fair to tell him so that he can have that closure.
Something I absolutely adore is Thresh. When he first asks, he doesn't say, did you team up with Rue? He says, did you team up with that little girl? He does not know Rue personally. Yeah. And I really like this because we now see Clove and Kato kind of together. We don't know if they knew each other before, but we can assume they did because careers are trained. So they knew each other in the training centre, whatever they have in whatever district. Peeta and Katniss know each other before. Thresh and Rue are completely different ages. We don't see them interacting at all. But this point where he says, he either says, did you kill that little girl to thingy, or he says, did you help that little girl? I can't remember which way around it is. But the fact he says the words little girl, I'm like, oh my God, he doesn't know her. This is just inbuilt district loyalty, but also this loyalty of like, that's a young girl. How dare you murder her? How dare you be cowardly enough to murder a small girl? But it's not loyalty from like, that was my friend. It's just loyalty from like a sense of what's right and wrong. And then we know he has a very strong sense of what's right and wrong because he chooses to let Katniss go. Yes.
And I think it's really interesting because when Katniss was getting to know Rue, we saw a lot of parallels and a lot of similarities between 11 and 12, and how even though they're kept so entirely apart, they actually have a lot in common and a lot that binds them together. And I think in this, we're seeing again how actually Thresh and Katniss are so similar, because Katniss would have done the same thing. Katniss has the same kind of concept of owing someone and a life for a life. And I really think if the roles were reversed, 100%, not a doubt in my mind, Katniss would have done the same thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, he lets her go and he runs off with both backpacks, which is quite the move, because you're putting them at a disadvantage, but you're also making yourself a target. And I guess he seems in good strength. He's already taken one of them down, and I guess if you're ever gonna face Kato, it's gonna be now.
And he knows it's Kato he's gonna face.
Yeah.
Like, yes, he's just given it an opportunity for it going to be Katniss he's gonna face, but I think he doesn't really think that that's what's going to happen. So, but also he wants to face Kato on his own terms. Kato is drawn into that wheat field.
Exactly.
He clearly does not want to fight Kato anywhere else. He wants to fight him where he has been doing whatever the fuck he's been doing. Also, how did Kato win? I truly don't get it. Like, well,
you meant the fight. So I was like, he didn't win the Hunger Games.
No. In the end, because I don't know, Thresh just seems such the better competitor.
Yeah, I guess there's like a certain element of luck, I guess. But yeah, that's the thing. I guess it is the best moment strategically to do the inevitable. However, it still feels really scary picking up a backpack that the person is going to follow you.
Yeah.
Like, they're not just going to go,
oh, well,
never mind.
Well, also because as Katniss is running away, she turns and sees Kato kneeling with Clove. So not only is Thresh going to be chased down because he took the backpack, he's going to be chased down because he murdered Clove, and not in a quick way as well. Clove isn't dead. Clove's like dying on the ground. The way that Kato he screams for Clove when she first yells out, and B is described as kneeling by her head. I'm wondering whether Suzanne was hinting that there was also something more than allies going on between the two of them. And I don't hate that, because I think that we put kind of Peeta and Katniss on a pedestal of like this being the only at all romance or anything at the Hunger Games. And I kind of like the idea of like, could there be other people who were also having, it doesn't have to be full romance, but something a bit more than allyship, something a bit further. And that just wasn't talked about because we're seeing this from Katniss's perspective.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure Thresh as well says some kind of thing about like, this is it, like we're even now.
Yeah.
This isn't like he's never going to kill her. It's just she gets away with it this one time.
Yeah.
She leaves, she goes back to Peeta, she injects him with the medicine, and then she literally just conks out.
Yeah, I'd kind of forgotten she was bleeding from the head quite massively.
Yeah.
So impressive she managed to get back to
has
that
been
cave.
up for probably quite a while at this point. So you know what? Fair enough.
She just passes out. This was probably my favourite chapter so far. I think I reread the bit from Thresh arriving with the two of them fighting to the end of the chapter 2 or 3 times. Because it was just so filled with detail.
It's very good.
It's so good. What do we do at the end?
That was it.
Join us next time. We're getting really close to the end, actually.
Which is crazy. We've only just started.
No, we keep going.
Mad one. Thank you for listening to this episode of Drunk Girls Who Read, a podcast by Goblet of Wine Productions.
If you'd like to follow us around the internet, you can find our social media links in the description.
Or if you'd like to support us further, you can find us on Patreon, where you'll get access to bonus episodes and behind-the-scenes content.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye!